So you have your gun license and you want to buy a firearm.
Watch this video. All right, so now you went through all of that red tape and you physically have your type 1 gun license in Wilma's name.
Yes.
Now you can officially go out and purchase 2 firearms. So you think that, oh, that's going to be great. We'll go to the gun store. We'll see what they have in stock. Hopefully they have what we want. We purchase it, gets registered, which I'm used to when you purchase a firearm in the US. The store notifies ATF. You know, you give your driver's license and it takes minutes. I mean, literally 10, 15 minutes to register the gun, and you're good to go, and you walk out the door with your firearm. Not in the Philippines.
No.
Which again, you know, all these extra safeguards, it's not a bad thing. So I'm not making fun of the law at all. The fact that they really do their due diligence to make sure that all gun owners are going to do the right thing and is responsible. So that's a good thing as compared to just, you know, allowing anyone to have a firearm. So again, that's just my opinion. A lot of people have different opinions on that. So you pick out the gun that you want. And after you pay for the gun, you have to register the gun. Okay?
Yes.
That takes 3 weeks.
Yes.
So you can't have the gun for 3 weeks. The registration fee, again, has gone up, and it is dictated by the gun store after they take the type of gun it is, and you know they get the information. Our firearm for 10 years registration is 9,500 pesos. So that's a 10-year registration. You can also do a 5-year registration. But why do that? Because the gun license is good for 10 years. So the type 1 gun license is good for 10 years. You purchase a gun, why wouldn't you register for 10 years so they expire at the same time? So you purchase the gun, and I will tell you that firearms here are more expensive than what I'm used to.
Yes.
You know, the name brands are like double the price of what I'm used to.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. So again, it has to be with taxes. I would imagine tariffs of coming into the Philippines, I would imagine. So you purchase the firearm, you pay for it, you give them the money, the 9,500 pesos to register it. Then it takes 3 weeks. And then you also get a license to carry, which you would think it would be through, you know, getting the gun license. It's not. You get it through the gun store. So the license to carry is 20,000 pesos for 2 years.
Yes.
So every 2 years, you have to pay another 20,000 pesos per firearm. So see how this all adds up? Pretty expensive.
Yeah.
And then to carry, or at least the version that we got, and I don't know if there's another version, maybe you guys could chime in. But carry is not like you have it on a holster on your hip.
No.
Carry here is for transport. So your gun license has your primary address on it. And if you happen to have a secondary address, you can have multiple addresses. We do. Wilma has a second address. They want that gun to be at that address. So, you know, the gun is registered really to this address. So that's where they want the gun to reside, with Wilma in 100% control of it. And then the carry is really a transport license to take it to, say, a shooting range or something like that. It has to be in a case, unloaded. That's important to know. So it's not like Wilma's going to be walking around Darwin with a holster, you know, with a loaded 9mm, right? That's not going to be the case. So it's really transport. And for us, the firearm is for safety here at the house and for sport. So when we say go to the shooting range and things of that nature. So that's that process. We went to a couple gun stores here on Negros. They don't have guns displayed. It's just basically a binder, and you pick out the gun you want. You can't touch it, you just have to order it. In Cebu, they have them in stock.
Kuha ni siya, sir?
STK.
STK
Arms for 9mm.
9mm. Pang babae? So this is for a woman.
Lalaki o babae.
Okay, for woman or man. 9mm.
Then about the thing you have the chance to buy for the visitor and these arms for 20 answer was dito sa ating search. And there will be consolation prizes. So everyone will be a winner. First place, 1,000 pesos each. Second place, 1,500 pesos each.
Because I wanted to make sure that it was the right one. We're not going to go into any elaborate what type of gun it is, but it is a 9mm, and we wanted it to be light, and we wanted the pistol grip to be small enough to fit her hand. So that was very, very important. But to get into any more details, we're not going to do that. Will we get a second firearm? Don't know. That'll be up to Wilma if she wants to do that or not. But it would be the same process. It takes about 3 weeks for it to be registered, and then get the license to carry, and then you can transport it. Some other little bit of tidbit information. You can't take the firearm on an airplane. You cannot take it in a mall or to a church. And then if there's any other establishments, I guess, that's posted no firearms, but we were told, Wilma was told during her training, no airplanes, malls, or churches. Now you can take it on Ocean Jet or Fast Cat, but you have to go through a metal detector. So what the law is, Wilma would have to surrender the gun and show her license to carry and her gun license, 2 separate licenses. And I was told that it has to be in a case, unloaded. It would go to the captain of the ship. They charge you a fee. They hold on to the firearm while you get to your destination. And then when you get off the ship, they will give you your firearm back. If you have a vehicle and you're going on just a ferry, you have it in your vehicle. Again, in a case, unloaded. That's what we were told. So obviously we're going to follow the rules to a T, and make sure that we do everything legal. So now here's the big question. Can I use the firearm? And the answer is yes. We go to the shooting range. There's an instructor there. I'm allowed to use the firearm, her firearm, at the shooting range. The next big question is, and we really asked this question multiple ways with our retired lieutenant from Cebu. Talk to us about how we can use the firearm for our own safety. And basically the way it works here, if someone breaks into your home and is a threat to your family, meaning coming at you or a family member with some type of a weapon. And the way our guy explained, if you said to the person, stop, and they don't stop, and they are aggressing towards you, you have the right by Philippine law to shoot them. So then the next question I had was, let's say that the burglar took Wilma and hit her on the head with a stick and she's knocked out, for example. And that was basically the explanation that I use. So she's incapacitated. She can't use her firearm to save a family member. I asked the question, at that point, can I take over the firearm and use it? His answer was, yes, I can do that legally if she's incapacitated. The gun is licensed to her in the proper residence.
Yeah.
That I'm a resident of this house, meaning my name appears on the title, meaning that I live here, I'm a permanent resident here. He explained that. And the burglar, again, is being aggressive, and I tell the person to stop, and they don't, and they keep coming at either Wilma or myself or Prince, and I can shoot them. I would like very much for you guys to comment below on that, because we're going to be looking into that a little bit further.
Yes.
To make sure that the advice that we got, which I'm sure is very accurate, because we were talking to people at the gun stores, as well as that retired lieutenant. But we're going to look into it further and make sure that that is exactly the way the law is written. And of course, I would love to have a copy of that law to make sure that we do everything right. Remember, I am a guest in the Philippines. I'm a 13A permanent resident holder, and I want to make sure that I do not break any laws in the Philippines. So before I would use the firearm here, I would make sure that I am able to do so if she becomes not able to use the firearm. So another thing is, and just a word of advice, if you're thinking about doing this, practice. Make sure that you're very familiar with how to load the firearm, chamber the round, clean the firearm. Make sure that it's not laying out, God forbid if there's any children. Make sure that it's secure and accessible. And make sure that the person who it's registered to practices often and is very familiar with the firearm. You wouldn't want any friendly fire or anything like that to happen. So again, owning a firearm anywhere in the world is not for anyone. The laws differ from country to country. And the attitude of the citizens are different from country to country. Some people say it's the wrong thing to have a firearm in your house. Some people say it's the right thing. We believe it's the right thing. It's another layer of protection, which we look at it as the last layer of protection. You know, we want to make sure that we have done everything we possibly can to have our house be safe. And for anyone who's thinking about robbing this location, to say, I'm not going to do that because of this, and this. You know, the wall, the lock fence, the proper lighting, CCTV, Doberman Pinscher, you know, a lot of different things. Lastly, Wilma and I, just because we have heard about more and more break-ins, we are actually adding some additional layers of security to our home here at Building the Philippines. And in our next update video, we're going to start to show you some of the things that we're going to do, as well as one that we've already started to do. So I appreciate you guys watching the video, and take care.